now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
And now let's move on to, we're getting to CMR.
Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hey, Sandy. Good morning.
Good morning, Aaron. How are you?
It's good. Another, last couple days in November, flying solo. And you, I hear solo momming.
Yes. It's definitely going to be interesting because, yes, I'm absolutely in mommy mode. So right in the background, I got my little one.
Well,
you got to wear more than one hat. So
yeah, that's true. So what's going on? Everything's all free. No, everyone's out of
well, she
COVID.
has to wait until the 14 days and then she has to get tested. So as you know, kids have to wait a longer period of time.
I didn't know that. Is it because they're unvaccinated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
that's what I keep saying. I'm not worried about really the kids catching COVID because they're pretty resilient when it comes to it. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about being locked inside right before we're about to have my mom come, B, then be off school anyways. So, it's like, so that's what scares me a little bit more for my family.
Right. Well, I suppose some of the new, measures in terms of, if someone else is negative in the household, they can still lateral flow test and have
Yeah,
some movement. So that's a lifesaver, believe me,
that's
you.
totally nice. Yeah, I took a LFT yesterday. I was like, I don't know. I just negative, but yeah, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where it's
Um,
wild. But what happened over the weekend? What's been going on?
well, quite a bit. This is Monday Rewind. So we have a new
Mhm.
segment on Mondays where we kind of review everything that happened over the weekend. So we had a number of traffic incidents that were like, whoa.
I
So
saw
there
there was
was,
some car flipped.
yeah,
What
there
is
was a
that even
car
about?
flip. There was a car that part of it ended up on another part of a car yesterday morning. Unfortunately, there was a motorbike incident yesterday, late morning. So yeah, there was quite a few over the weekend that we saw. So we'll be kind of recapping those. We had a criticism video of the RCIPS. We're going to be dissecting that a bit this morning to see what that was all about.
Okay. Was it
Yeah.
traffic related or other stuff?
Other stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
someone
All
was
right.
just upset that their presence was at the Strand, which is stupid, but we're going to talk about that this morning.
Okay.
The poor police, they can't win for losing, as we say in the Caribbean. So it's always you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So we're going to dissect that a little bit. Honduras has a new president, by the way, so we're going to pop in some
Yeah.
news in there.
Oh, who won?
It was the woman who
That's
was
what
running.
I thought. Okay. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Wasn't she was like the vice president, or she was like married to the vice president, or what was it?
I'm not sure, but they always
Yeah.
seem to have
Some connection.
relationships.
Gigi.
So yeah, so we'll have a look at that. We'll look at the latest with Omicron, as the new variant is now being called.
Yes.
And that's going to be super interesting, no doubt.
I mean, already I get like they're starting. I don't know what it's gonna do, if it's gonna start closing down, more travel to countries already certain. I know people that it's affected, that now their travel is it's done. They can't go to where they want. Of course, I have, family in Zimbabwe and South Africa. So we had family there that wanted to go see, my husband's cousin wanted to go from the UK to go to Zim, and he hasn't been in a while, to go see his mom, and that's not happening now.
It's really kind of crazy because, quite frankly, it's just, I don't know what people are going to do really, because people wanted to travel for the holidays.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are saying that, unfortunately, especially for South Africa and some of the other countries, this has now really put a damper on not just holiday travel plans, but just their livelihood in general.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, they were having to already be on the tethering on economic, serious economic issues. And now this is only going to make it that much worse, because now a lot of countries, including the Cayman Islands, have put a ban in place for people coming from those particular countries.
Well, I mean,
the UK now has, as of yesterday, the UK had 3 reported cases as well.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
I mean, listen,
and there's a few, I believe Australia was monitoring the situation very, very carefully, because there's a possibility that they may have had some cases as well. So you know how it is, Aaron, by the time they figure out that there is a new variant,
it's gone. It's out.
Which they did late last week, they already are concerned that it is on the move. So it's already traveled. And this particular one is of grave concern because of the fact that it can do so much more in terms of transmissibility, is what they're thinking at this stage. So there's still a lot that they don't know. And so they're asking people not to panic. But what they are saying is that it's a variant of concern, is what the World Health Organization issued in a statement on Friday. And they did name it on Friday as well.
Yeah.
Remember, originally it had some number as a name. Yeah, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. The RCIPS had some new recruits, 23 new recruits. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And of course, today is Cyber Monday. So for Cyber Monday, we're going to have Dino from Aeropost pop in and visit us. And we're going to talk about some of the Cyber Monday specials.
Yeah, because it is 26 days till Christmas.
Yes. Can you believe it? We actually put up our Christmas
Crazy.
tree this weekend.
Then your mind's been up for like weeks, so I just have to finish the rest of the
Big
decoration.
shout out to Wonderland Christmas Trees who made it all happen.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Yep. So we were definitely in the mood once that was delivered, and we did. I should really thank my husband for doing it. Some Christmas lights, the tree is up. There's some presents under the tree, but he quickly reminded me, don't put anything out early like that because, you know, when you get a 5-year-old, they think the next day is Christmas.
Oh yeah, no, you can't. Yeah.
So
I mean, we have to. Everything will go out the night before. I'm like, it's too much. It's too much excitement. I feel like.
Well, my excuse is, because
they'll
of
wake
COVID,
up too early though. But they'll wake up.
Has started deliveries early.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yes, that has happened.
Yeah.
But the problem is if they see it, my kids at least, well, one of my kids will wake up an hour earlier than usual just because, I mean, he's excited about taking his gummy vitamin every morning. So he wakes up early for that. I can only imagine if he saw presents under a Christmas tree, what time he'd wake up at.
It would be havoc.
Not happen.
Pure havoc.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you guys go and enjoy, and I'll see you back tomorrow. And have a wonderful Monday, everyone.
Thank you so much, Erin. Have a good one.
Yep. Bye. All right. That was Spilling the Tea with Sandy and CMR, brought to you by Doctors Hospital, who's been providing exceptional medical.
All right. So Erin is solo this week because Blake is doing some other stuff. Let me see here. I just wanted to check on something. Manage your account. Okay. All right. So I don't know what this message is about. Okay. So good morning to everyone. I hope that you guys had a fabulous weekend. And verify. So what went on this weekend for all of you? As I was just saying, we actually put up our Christmas tree this weekend. So that was super excited. There's certain things I cannot say about that process because I do have a toddler in the room. So we are going to not be too 813. We're not going to be too obvious with the situation. Because, you know, we still believe in Santa. So, having said that, we are excited to be able to put it up. So good morning to Olivia. Good morning, Wee Wee. Good morning, Irvelyn. Chantal is here. Marshall is here. Felicia is here. And so is Louis and Odette. Dalvis, thank you so much for tuning in. We got Miss Joy joining us from Richmond, Texas. Dawn, good morning to you. Anne Marie, good morning to Roy. Louis says we have a couple of inches of snow. Wow, that's nice. So now my activity outside is limited to shoveling snow to clear the path to the house and the driveway. Ooh, a couple of inches. Oh my gosh, this little one just said, where is it snowing? It's snowing in Detroit, where mommy's friends are. I want to go there. I think it's fair to say I'm going to have a co-host until Zoom class starts this morning. So Diamond Princess, Luis is here. Damien is here. Catherine is here. Louis says it's hibernation mode until spring. Good morning again to Mr. Roy. Tracy, so good to see you. I've not seen you in a minute. Yeah, a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about some of the Cyber Monday specials. Good morning to Carla. Sari is here. So did you guys have a fabulous weekend or what? Well, let me just remind you, I'm so excited because as we move into the holiday season, we get to do a lot of really fun things for Christmas, including if you're a business owner, make sure you know that you can advertise your specials. So definitely check out CMR for some of those things. We're always excited to be offering, new and different things to our clients. So give us a jingle. Bless you, young lady. Give us a jingle and we'll be happy to get you sorted out so that you can spread the message. Because trust me, if nobody knows, doesn't really matter if you have all those wonderful specials on. Probably not. Because if people don't know it's happening, then they won't be tuned in. So make sure, folks, that you, a lot of you have businesses, you've got small businesses, and people always love hearing about what your specials are. So let me give a big shout out and a big thank you to Wonderland Christmas. Blake actually delivered the tree himself on Saturday, and he cut off, I don't know if you guys saw the little video where he cut off the little piece of the base in order to prep the tree to be able to absorb all of the water. So we are excited around here.
Wonderland Christmas trees are here. It's official. It's Cayman's most wonderful time of the year. Don't delay or all the elves will give the trees away. Stop by our Christmas tree lot to select from the finest balsam fir trees, starting at $100 for 5 to 6 feet. Christmas lot is located right next to Cost You Less in Governor Square. Selected from the best farms in Canada, your tree has been grown with love and care by all our elves for many years. Wonderland Christmas Trees is owned and operated by experienced elves with over 6 years of industry experience. Don't trust your Christmas tree needs to anyone else. And remember, for every tree you purchase, Wonderland Christmas Trees makes a donation to Feed Our Future and Meals on Wheels. Visit wonderlandtrees.ky or find us on Facebook to place your order today. Christmas tree sales going on now. Don't delay. Wonderland Christmas Trees, your best choice for Christmas.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas!
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! It is right around the corner, folks. Today is the 29th. That's less than a month now. So please get on it. Emma, good morning. Buenos dias. How are you? Mr. Blair is joining us from sunny but cool Orlando. Oh, how cool is it in Orlando today? Miss Alice is here. Thank you, Miss Alice. Catherine, could you please wish my mom, Jewel, a happy 92nd birthday today? Absolutely. And will you send us, Catherine, a photo of your mom? And we will definitely post it up on our social media platforms, wishing her a beautiful happy birthday. Always happy to do the birthday shout outs. Someone actually messaged me the other day, like, how much do you charge for the birthday shout outs? I'm like, we don't charge for birthday shout outs. They thought that we had because they sent us one and I inadvertently forgot to post it. Sometimes we get so many messages in a day that if you send me something on WhatsApp and then I don't respond, just resend it or ping me again. Because believe me, some days it's like a million missing cats, a million, yesterday we had a missing person. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hopefully that young lady has been found, but we haven't received any updates as yet. And all sorts of stuff. So yeah, just ping me. Odell, that was sent to you on, I think that was Friday, Odell, check your email. I did send you something on Saturday afternoon, 1:26 p.m. No, 1:26 a.m. Early in the morning hours, I was up and I sent that to you. So double check. Zita, good morning. Alice, good morning. 21 and 12 degrees Celsius. Oh, my brain doesn't work in Celsius, Mr. Blair. So you're going to have to tell me what that means in Fahrenheit, because the brain is just like, Okay, so let's pop off with our Monday Rewind show. Everybody ready?
Time for Monday Rewind. The Cold Hard Truth's Monday Rewind show recaps the weekend's news and events so you Don't miss a beat.
Don't miss out.
All the weekend source, news, gossip, and well, it wouldn't be a weekend recap show without traffic accidents, too. Cayman Marl Road is Cayman's #1 news source and has the island's hottest morning talk show.
It's the hottest.
Make sure you don't miss a beat with Monday Rewind.
Rewind.
Tune in every Monday from 7:30 a.m. on both YouTube and Facebook.
All right, folks. So it's time for Monday Rewind. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who's here? All 190 of you. So why not? Let's get on it. So over the weekend, this is a show on Mondays where we kind of recapped what happened. There's always a lot that happens, it seems like, over the weekend. So a couple of things. We had Senor Mario Rankin. You know, he's a, I'm not really sure what to call him, to be honest, in terms of what he does, because he only does a single show. And so does that mean that he is, I mean, technically that's not even a vlogger, because a vlogger or a blogger, so there's a difference between a vlogger and a blogger. So a blogger actually writes content. Mario doesn't actually write anything. He just gets on a platform, on a show, and he has a lot to say. So, yeah. What is, I mean, what would you define him as? I mean, he can't be media. And a few people have said this to me. Well, you know, we've often questioned, well, what defines media? And, you know, there's still a quasi definition of what media is. And producing content, news content, it might not be what everybody thinks is news, but at least if it is some news, then you're getting a little bit closer to it being considered, or yourself being considered a news media. And listen, we've been on the fringes here at CMR of being classified as, like, initially people didn't know what to classify us as. So they were calling us a blogger, although they had no concept of, interestingly enough, even what a blogger is and what a blogger does. But they just didn't want to call us a news outlet or news media, because of course that changed the game entirely, right? So I don't want to now be that person who's like, well, he's not news, but I'm going to be the truth sayer, and that he really isn't news. He doesn't produce any news content whatsoever. What he does is he just gets on a show, which even that, like, he just kind of starts it at whatever time he wants. I think he's doing it daily now. But even there's some level of inconsistency there, right? So he just gets on his show and he talks about whatever he wants to talk about. It's not necessarily what's happening in the news. And I think that what has happened with his show is he's been given a platform that the timing has been just right, in terms of he's jumped on the anti-vaxxer bandwagon and the fringe bandwagon. So he's attracting a lot of people who see themselves on the outskirts of society. Right. And right now, the ones who see themselves in the outskirts of society is the anti-vaxxers. That's, you know, they think that everybody's out to get them and the world is a big conspiracy. And there's a video that I was watching last night. I got to find this guy, because actually it was my husband who was watching it. And I kind of piggyback onto what he was watching. And oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of this guy now. I'm going to find this video because he had some very, very interesting things to say. I'm going to find this because you guys have got to watch this video. I found it it was very, very thought-provoking, even about how we consume content and the things that we have had to say, right? So we as human beings, how we're consuming content, how we are, it's just so fascinating how the algorithm is meant to even, it's called Mr. Who's the Boss. Oh my God, this guy is amazing. I love this piece last night from him. I think it was done 2 weeks ago about the metaverse and why he thinks that the universe is kind of going and the entire world is going in a real downward trend. And he talks about, different reasons of, why we even choose the content that we do, because we only want to hear confirmation bias. I say on the show all the time, of the things that we believe and that we want to believe, and we're not able to entertain any opposing viewpoints, which is partly, I guess, being human. So I'm going to let you guys watch the video for yourselves, and then you can tell me what your thoughts are in terms of the video. So there was an editorial that was done on Saturday about it, and I thought that it was very, very interesting.
So, ladies and gentlemen, word of mouth. I mean, like, seriously, right? I only find it necessary to highlight this, right? So here is the RCIP with their lights on, and they have their flashes on, like as if there's some problem. Now we're at the Strand complex, and trust me, I can tell you that there's no issues here. Like there's no problems, but we have the police presence. And okay, now look at this, right? They shut it off, obviously, because I've asked this problem. I said to them, why do you have your lights on, indicating like there's some issue going on? There's no real issue. We got a bunch of police. Watch out. You want to see some police? What they should be doing is out there checking people whose houses are being broken into. Look at this. No. I want you all to see. This is the Cayman Islands Police Service at a complex on West Bay Road at the Strand. And this is all of them right here. All of our police service is on this complex. And nothing happening here, right? Look. See? Look. Police service. Now, tell me, what really going on in Cayman? Now, we got a lot of stuff going on, and watch them out in this parking lot doing nothing. Truth be told, I get it. All right, this is a popular spot. They want to make sure that things, whatever. I get it. But we don't need everybody in the police force to be here. All right? You think that fucking something? Look. Police? All right, look here. You want to see something? Look. Watch out. Look at this foolishness. This all money being spent on, right? Wind panel run around about global warming. This is what he got to worry about. Look. Look here. We got police, right? Talking pure foolishness to everybody. Instead, he should go home. Yeah, no. If you think he's not alive, no, that motherfucker alive. This is what we doing on a Friday night. This one complex taking all the resources of Cayman Police Services. This is the foolishness they're going. Look. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, okay, whatever. But on a real note, look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, yo, we got a problem. You know why we got a problem? Look at our police officers. Look. That them. Then I got one thing to do. Yeah. This is what was stupid police doing. Look at what they're doing. This is what we pay for. This is what we pay for, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, like, seriously. Like, I mean, yeah. Cayman Islands. Royal Cayman Islands Police Services are at one location. Watch this. If you think I'm joking, look at this. Look at what I'm telling you. No, I gonna move in the corner because they might arrest me. Who knows?
Okay, so it was an interesting video for a number of reasons. Of course, you're free to go and read the editorial yourselves, but I want to remind you guys of a couple factual things that have happened at the Strand. Why, of course, there would be police presence there. Less than a year ago, we had the untimely death and murder of Michael Bush, who was only 22 years old. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but Michael was actually stabbed at the Strand multiple times on Christmas Eve of last year. So this is 2020. Deshaun Johnson, who's only 21 years old, has been found guilty of the Christmas Eve murder of Michael Bush. Now, Johnson, was tried by Justice Roger Chappelle, and he's going to have sentencing. Actually, it said November 2021, so it's happening this month, but it might have been pushed back a little bit because I know the court dates are a little bit off with some things that are going on there. But he claims that it was self-defense. The video showed an unbelievable situation. And that night, there was more than one incident that actually popped off. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but there was probably at least 3 instances that happened in one night that were 2, I think, were interconnected, and then 1 really wasn't. Here's another one from May the 19th of 2021. Several arrested at Strand disturbance early Monday morning. And again, camera footage showed that stuff went on there. So to my recollection, we've at least had 2 murders at that location, multiple stabbings, multiple fights, and to think that there would be police presence at a location that, I mean, we have a 22-second video here from the incident that night. Again, to think that there'd be multiple deaths at that location, that there would be heavy police presence, especially in light of the fact that they have literally just released someone from custody that they had wanted on murder charges. Now, listen, we're not here to talk about that young man's guilt or innocence. That was for the DPP's office to prove, the prosecution to prove, and the police to do an investigation. But I think anybody with a little bit of common sense would understand that that means that the streets are probably a little bit more agitated than they were before he was released. This is just common sense, right? And for me, when you put yourself in the spotlight and you say that you want to be a quote unquote influencer, which I think is what word of mouth is trying to do. So it's trying to influence the things that you care about and the things that you think. And then you get on your platform. He identifies himself a word of mouth. He actually live streamed that to his word of mouth page. So this wasn't him trying to be in his personal capacity. He actually said, oh, word of mouth here, as though he's reporting a story. Right? Sorry. And so you get on your platform inebriated, he's slurring his words, can barely form a thought really. And then you're especially critical of the RCIPS. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Now, listen, we have been critical of the RCIPS on more than one occasion. And like any other government agency or government department, you are constructively critical of them when they need it. I don't think that you should be unfairly critical of them if they don't need it, right? So when they're trying to do their job, as a community, we have to get behind the RCIPS and we have to support them because they do a job that, let's face it, probably most people really do not want, right? They're underappreciated for sure in terms of what they do. Now, what I found interesting about that video is he was going around trying to agitate the people there, like, oh, look at the police, why are you talking to these young people? Kind of like almost like an attitude of get away from these young people and so on and so forth, right? And you saw other people kind of like getting into the conversation a little bit. There were some people who obviously didn't want to be in camera and they kind of like moved away from the camera in that moment. But my summation of this video, which went viral over the weekend, is that it was wholly irresponsible. I guess we all have to be careful when we're in this space where we could potentially sway public opinion in one way or the other. And, they say with certain things comes great responsibility. And if you want to be in the space of being a quote unquote influencer, even if you just have just the one show, then I think you should be cautious about how you go about doing that, especially when it comes to support services like the RCIPS. And having a drunken moment and getting in a live stream. Well, I've never been drunk in my life, but why do people like to live stream when they're drunk? I mean, why? There's something about it that to me just says that you shouldn't do it. Drinking and live streaming probably just do not go hand in hand. And I found it ironic that towards the end, he said, oh, well, I better go before the police arrest me. Well, I hope that he was calling a cab or had a friend drive him home. Because just as a known fact, we know that Mario has had issues with drinking and driving multiple times. And he's had multiple arrests for DUI and running into structures and destroying people's properties. So when I saw that, the first thing that I thought of is, oh, he's out drinking and drunk again? How did he get home that night? Check the cameras, RCIPS. You might have another arrest on your hands. But deciding to have a go at the police in the current circumstances of what is happening in the community and in that state where you were completely inebriated, I would say is probably not the best idea. So March 14th, 2020, we had another stabbing at the Strand complex. Some man stabbed in the Strand parking lot overnight. And there was multiple, there's the ambulance there. It's a hot spot for a lot of young people to hang out at. So without a doubt, it has caused, there are even businesses in the Strand who say, listen, we're not the ones who draw that crowd, but by extension, because our business is in the vicinity of the Strand, we find that we get a lot of bad press as a result. And they have even considered closing shop because of the negativity that they get from all the instances that have happened at the Strand. It's just crazy. But again, I would invite people to know that that is a hot spot. And that's what I'm telling you. If you're a parent of a young person who likes to go out and have a good time, they want to go out and have a drink. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that, but I would encourage you to let them know that the Strand is one of those hot spots. And it's unfortunate because here's the thing, right? You just go there, very innocently, and you yourself can get caught up in a situation that you had nothing to do with. You accidentally bump into someone and it's like the wrong person and they've been drinking and they've had too much to drink or whatever. Next thing you know, they've taken out a knife. They're going to stab you. They're going to, shoot you or whatever. And again, December 26th of last year, we were talking about the fact that a young man had lost his life. Here's, in case you guys have forgotten it, because I feel like sometimes we have such short memories in this country. And that's the reason why we can afford to be so critical. But here's a young man lying on the ground and people looking on like, oh, okay, another stabbing at the Strand. Very, very unfortunate. There is a video here, and again, you're free to go and watch that video, but this is a stark reminder of, what is happening at that hotspot. Now, I can't think of another hotspot, and you guys will have to remind me if I'm right here, but I can't think of another hotspot. You can see there's a young lady crying and stuff, and people kind of fighting over him. This was before the authorities were even able to, at this point, it was only the EMT here, so they were not able to control. No, my apologies. The police are actually there. Yeah, this was the one where people were complaining the police hadn't done more. Imagine this actually turned into a big investigation by the ombudsman's office because the complaint was the police were there, but they weren't doing enough. And now we have people complaining that the police are doing too much, that they're showing up in droves. Now, it's an over exaggeration without a doubt to say the entire police force was at the Strand this weekend. I mean, I saw a few cops, but surely that's not the entire police force. To then attack the premier about, he's only concerned about global warming. Well, first of all, let's be very, very clear here. The premier doesn't run the RCAPS, in case you guys haven't noticed. They actually fall under the governor's responsibility. That's national security. They fall in the governor. Obviously, they should take advice from the premier because ultimately the government issues them a budget. And, I think that was just another go at the premier without any merit. Listen, Mario doesn't like the premier. Not earth-shattering, not breaking news here, folks. And every opportunity that he has a go at him, or he thinks he can have a go at him, I guess he will do so. What does that have to do with global warming? If Mario doesn't think that global warming is just as serious as some of the crime that we're fighting here in this country, he should probably go and have several seats, right? We're an island below sea level. We better care about global warming because we in particular will be impacted in the most devastating way. Climate change, climate resilience, those things matter. So this is why I say maybe he's not really in the business of news. What he does is he hyper-focus on the one or two things that he knows is going to get people agitated. And yes, I'm not saying that those conversations are not important, but he's got a core group of about 20 people that kind of cheer him on, that constantly watch him. But that doesn't mean that, yes, ma'am. Oh gosh, she can't hear her show because we're getting too loud. So I would say that speaks volumes to, again, what is it really that he does? I don't really know. So it was a topic of conversation this weekend, folks. And, hopefully I know for a fact that he's regretted the statements after he sobered up because he took the video down. So that should be proof positive right there. Refresh my memory, says someone. Wasn't the last video that came out from that same car park videos of fights and one man being stabbed? Yeah. So best to fish where the fish are at. Yep. He is exactly right. We're paying for community policing, and that's what they're doing. Bananas is warming up again. Lots of people out at 4 a.m. And Bananas has been another hotspot where at least one person has lost their life, and there've been multiple stabbing incidents and stuff as well. So, the police know the hotspots, folks. I'm glad that they're out there. That is part of their job. And if you want to define it as community policing, then, great. It is what it is. I don't have an issue with the community policing. And in fact, I think what ends up happening is the police officers do have the ability to develop a rapport with the people, even that are going out and drinking and, so forth. So are you less likely to show up at a venue and create a disturbance where there is strong police presence? Probably. So, all right, let's take a quick commercial break.
Give your family the gift of Roquet. Looking for the perfect gift idea for the entire family? Then look no further than Roquet, Cayman's #1 streaming experts. Confused by VPNs, Amazon Prime, Netflix geolocking, UK channels disappearing, where to find your favorite events, and so much more? Roquet takes the guesswork out of the world of streaming, doing the hard work for you. Give them a call today and see why Roquet is Cayman's most knowledgeable and customer-focused streaming support company. 345-926-1213. That's 345-926-1213. Call them today and give the gift that the whole family will enjoy, including you.
All right, folks. So big shout out again to the RCAPS. I, again, think that they're doing a good job by focusing on certain known hotspots. And we have to be, as a community, supportive of them. I'm always shocked at people. We want to blame them when they get it wrong. And when they're out there trying to do the right thing, we also want to criticize them. It's like, listen, they've had, I'm never in favor of police chases. And I think you guys know this from my own personal experience, where the RCIPS almost killed me during a police chase. So, of course, I see the inherent dangers in that. But I remember, was it last year when they were chasing the biker guy down in the Newlands area, and that didn't end too well for him? Well, what I would say is, I didn't blame the police. I mean, I understood what happened, and I understood that they probably, in the circumstances, might have had adrenaline pumping, and so they probably strung them up a little bit towards the end. But here we are, having criminals doing the most in our communities, and we want to protect the criminals, and we want to do all these ridiculous things, as opposed to actually supporting the RCIPS and supporting the police. Says a lot about us. I think that it's one of the reasons why we have some of the issues that we have in the community, because we're always the ones to be like, the police are wrong, the police are this. We don't turn in the criminals when we know who they are. Oh, because they're family. Oh, that's my cousin. Yeah, Uncle so-and-so molesting children in the neighborhood. Everybody knows that, but nobody wants to call the police and turn them in. I had an interesting phone call over the weekend. Speaking of Monday Rewind, somebody called me, and they were talking about a situation with a family member, with a spouse, actually. And, they were going on and on and on about this person is no good, and they're this and that. And I said, why are you still married to them? I'm kind of curious. They've been accused of some illegal activity. And I also had to question and say, why you claim that you have evidence of all of this. Is this evidence that you've actually given to the police to get a conviction? No, well, at the time I was still being fooled by this person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you see, this is what I'm talking about. This right here is exactly my point. So we are in a position to help the authorities. Even if it is a family member, you have a legal responsibility to help, people who are engaging in criminal behavior. And we have that obligation, and we don't do it. We don't do it because we just want to sit back and be critical, and we don't want to be part of the solution. I think that is very disingenuous, to be honest. If you don't want to be part of the solution, then get out of the way and let people solve the problem, solve the crimes. Someone says he's a negative Nancy, finds something wrong with everything, and needs to sit his ignorant ASS down in a corner, and someone should take his phone away. Well, let's move on from that, folks. I just wanted to say that, there comes a time when you should recognize the bigger picture of what's happening in your community and lend your support where it should be. We don't need any more murders before Christmas. Jesus, please. Before the end of the year. We've had 2 major incidents this year where at least 4 people in each one were shot. That's a mass shooting in the Cayman Islands. And if we don't recognize the issues with that and no convictions or anything, we better wake up. Catherine says, didn't the police do the same thing by Dave Rocket's place back in the day? I don't know, but I will take your word for it. I've never been to one of his sessions. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? Marshall says, he said, we have a problem. We have a problem. Mario needs to get a life. Suzette said, these lead to road accidents. He sure didn't walk home. That is a question in my mind in terms of how did he get home? South Margie says, if you think you're doing something so good, why hiding and talking about arrests? Yeah, I mean, that too, like the whole rhetoric of what he was actually saying, if you pay very close attention to it, kind of didn't make any sense. Jesse says it would take all day to count the fights and violence that happen or start at that location. Seems to make sense to have police presence there. Absolutely. And you know what is so interesting? That I think the last time, even with that Christmas Eve murder, I believe it was that one. It could be another incident, but I believe that the police were there and they hadn't left for very long before that fight broke out and before that young man lost his life. So, you know, if anything, I think that it's really, really important for us to recognize the significance and the importance of having police presence and how it can actually deter individuals from engaging in certain behavior. And of course, our thoughts are always with the families who have lost loved ones under whatever circumstances. Like, honestly, it's got to be one of the hardest things. You know, the day before Christmas, that night, to get a phone call to say your son has died in a violent incident, no matter where it is. Really, really sad. And again, September of last year, you know, there was 3 recent stabbings that they were talking about. There was one guy who actually jumped in his car. So he was involved in an altercation, stabbed, but somehow managed to jump in his car and drive away, and then end up crashing because I think he'd lost like so much blood and just fell unconscious, and he ended up crashing afterwards. So it's just crazy. And here's another one. August the 29th of 2020, 27-year-old man dies after nightclub stabbing. Again, where was it? The Strand, Lily's at the Strand. And that young man was Ricardo Lionel Pars, only 27 years old. And another 27-year-old, Mason Bryan, was arrested in relation to that stabbing. Okay, Tracy, thank you for the reminder about Cyber Monday. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So, yeah, that was the same night where they had more than one incident happening there. So the police said 2 serious incidents feet and minutes apart keep police busy in West Bay Road. So they had the stabbing incident, and then they also had the guy who ran off the road off of Canal Point, and he was a 28-year-old in serious. He was in a coma actually, in a serious situation. But they kind of had to investigate in terms of what happened, because initially they weren't sure if the two were related or how they were interconnected. It was a very weird set of it was a weird development. And I remember reading the court file in relation to the stabbing, and I then saw, and I can't remember all the details now, but they were actually somehow connected as well. So good morning to Sophia. So what else happened over the weekend? Well, speaking of car accidents, folks, that seems to be a constant Monday rewind situation. Unfortunately, we have our fair share of car accidents. So we had at least 3 over this weekend that I'm aware of. There was the one Saturday night, overnight, that involved a car flipping. Did you guys see this video? Hold on one second. Let me get this video for you. I'm going to show you this one because this one was kind of like, what? This one was a bit unbelievable, to be honest. So let me just see if I can pull this one up. Oh yeah, so this one was let me just pull it up here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab it from my phone. In the meantime, here's a public service announcement from CUC. If you live in the South Sound area, you should be aware that there's going to be a scheduled power outage for tomorrow.
CUC advises customers on South Church Street, South Sound Road, and in Secret Gardens and Hidden Gardens off Fairbanks Road that they may experience short, intermittent interruptions to their electrical service on Tuesday, November 30th, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Areas affected include customers from Feline Close on South Church Street to Bel Air Drive on South Sound Road, including Secret Gardens and Hidden Gardens off Fairbanks Road. Motorists are asked to drive with caution when utilizing South Church Street and South Sound Road, as CUC will have a number of vehicles and personnel in the area and may be required to temporarily block one lane on a section of these roads. CUC apologizes for this interruption, which is necessary to facilitate required overhead infrastructure upgrades and repairs to provide our customers with safe, reliable, and efficient power. For more information on the outage, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
All right, folks, I'm just trying to find the video for this because this was quite something to see. But someone decided it was a good idea, I guess, to probably do the same thing that we were kind of thinking might have happened there. Drinking and driving, no doubt. You know, sometimes we look at these and people make comments like, oh my gosh, this person was speeding. And then people say, well, how do you know that they were speeding? Well, you know, it's kind of a logical situation for we got a little breaking photo here, so give us 1 second and we'll get to that one. It's a bit of a logical situation to often imagine that either speed was involved or drinking or both. You know, it's not unheard of that in the wee hours when someone takes out a light pole, they take out a fence, they take out, you know, other cars and so forth, that the chances are that there was probably a mixture of alcohol and speed and stupidity all mixed in together and involved. So have a look at this one. This one was kind of crazy, to be honest.
Episode 23 of Cayman is not a real place. Still in the car?
Get him out the car.
Oh, fuck. Is this dude, man?
Get him out the car.
Alright, hold on.
What's the point, kid?
I'm good, man. He can't breathe. The car, see, it's much old making that car look a while. I mean, man, he can't breathe. Of course, he can't breathe.
All right, folks. So that was another incident that popped off over the weekend that was undoubtedly, you know, one for concern. So listen, this time of year, the police will do, and I'm going to reach out to them because I think they should probably come on the show. You know, they'll do their usual Christmas, I don't know what they're going to call it this year. They always call it something, Operation whatever. Operation Fend Off the Drunk Drivers or whatever. And, you know, undoubtedly their presence is obviously required, folks, because people are out there doing the most, putting other people's lives in danger. I mean, we kind of look at this, we think, oh, thank God nobody was killed in this incident, but it doesn't take much, you know, and this is where I am particularly concerned because it doesn't take much. Next thing you know, some innocent person who was just minding their own business, driving home, maybe they went out for late dinner, or maybe they went out to have drinks, but they were not irresponsible. They end up being caught up in this.
Episode 23 of Cayman is not a real place. Still in the car?
Get him out the car.
Oh, fuck. Is this dude, man?
Get him out the car.
Alright, hold on.
What's the point, kid?
I'm good, man. You can't breathe. The car, see, it's much old making that car look a while. I mean, man, can't breathe. Of course, him can't breathe.
So I see a comment there saying that they thought that that was Jamaica. No, that's on our roads right here in the Cayman Islands, folks. That is crazy. Wow. Oh, unbelievable. So that was Friday night into Saturday morning. We never know the exact time that these happened. I think that one was early in the morning. Of course, the police are always looking for assistance with trying to figure out how these accidents happen. So if you witnessed that particular one, or you were on location, by all means, reach out to the RCIPS because they definitely want to hear from you. Let's put it that way. You can assist them in their investigations. But a Honda Fit looks like a relatively new car at that, destroyed. They're lucky that their lives were not likewise destroyed, and the lives of other people. Quite sad, actually. All right, so let's look at the one yesterday that happened by Countryside. Now, this one had me scratching my head. Am I the only one who's scratching their head? I'm like, how did this happen? Well, I'll tell you what. This junction, and I have to use this almost daily, depending on you know, if I'm going to Countryside or Country Corner. You go up here and then you turn and you come around the little bend right there. And it is always, you have to be so careful because what people do is the little turn as you're coming off of, like you're coming from the east and you're going to pass the gas station, or you can turn right to then come over into exactly where you see these vehicles are, right? All going in that direction to then turn. Or is this the other way? No, this is the other way. Wait a minute. CNB is down that road. Oh, no. This is Hearst Road. My apologies. This is not even where I'm thinking it is. I was thinking this was like out on the main road by the gas station, because that's another hot spot, folks, that you have to be so careful of. Like, seriously. Yes. No, this isn't that one. This isn't that one. So, but that is a real hot spot, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes people make that the exit onto the main road, they make that 2 lanes when it was never intended to be 2 lanes. So all of a sudden, you're trying to come out, and then you have people competing with you on your, because they'll come across on the right-hand side. And of course, here's the thing. You're not looking and expecting anyone to be on your right. And that's what makes that movement extremely dangerous, because nobody's gonna, you're coming out and you're only looking to the left, right? You're not looking to the right. And so then someone decides, oh, they're gonna try to squeeze between you and pull out before you do. It's an accident waiting to happen. And I'm sure that it has caused accidents already. So folks, I really implore people to use a little bit of common sense on the roadways, but this is actually on Hearst Road, is it? I'm trying to figure out where this is. Yeah. This is because there's a CNB portion. So this is after the turn in to Countryside, I think. And then this is like across the street from Country Corner, or is this on the corner? I'd have to go and yeah. So Irvin says yes, it's Hearst Road. Yeah, it almost looks like it could be like coming out of where the gas station is as well. But based on the positioning of the buildings, no, this is actually on Hearst Road itself. Folks, all I can tell you is just try to be cautious. I mean, only God knows how these accidents happen. But you've got to be a defensive driver. So you've got to look out for yourself, and you've got to look out for other people on the roadway as well. Unless, otherwise you end up in a situation like this. This one had me scratching, like, how did the car end up? You hit a car. I guess it just kind of hit it the wrong way, and it propped it up on the wheel of the other vehicle, given that it's a van. What a hot mess. So like I said, there was definitely more than one noteworthy incident over the weekend. I'm going to share a few more here with you. So yesterday's traffic accident, a young man was hit off of his bike. And, we understand that he's in serious condition, but the police have said, their report says that he is, I guess he's okay. They're asking for eyewitnesses who may have witnessed this accident that happened right before 12 o'clock yesterday to come forward. So if you were in the Wilty Drive yesterday, folks, and you saw this accident, which I think there's a few people that mentioned that they did, please come forward. The young man on his bicycle was actually involved in some sort of an accident. We have no clue who was at fault, but obviously he got licked off of his bike. And there he is. Now, let me be very, very clear. Bicycles are of particular danger, whether it's a motorbike or bicycle, when you're on roads with people who are not the best drivers in the world. And I own it. I don't think Caymanians and people here, and when I say Caymanians, I don't mean to just single out Caymanians, but people driving in the Cayman Islands are not the world's best drivers. I think there's a number of reasons for that. Sometimes it's roadway conditions. Other times it is the fact that we have people from all over the world driving. Some people have never driven a day in their lives until they came to the Cayman Islands. So they don't know anything about more complex road systems, much less the simple ones. And so it's like they're learning to drive in our roadways, and that can cause a lot of issues. Like, I'm surprised there are even people from the UK, from London, who never needed to drive. They had public transport that was very reliable. They used a train, the subway system, whatever. And so they were not particularly concerned about those things. And so coming here and getting a license for the first time must be exciting for some, and yet incredibly dangerous for a lot of us who have to share the roadway with them. And then people get distracted by cell phones and drinking and, smoking and talking to kids in the car. Like, it's amazing. It only takes a split second for an accident to happen. And it's amazing how they happen and the reasons why they actually happen. So the police are imploring anyone that may have seen that accident that happened right before midday yesterday morning to please come forward and provide them with some assistance. So another Monday rewind. Sue says, got that right, Sandy. Louis says people should look at the vaccine choice as theirs. So at the same time as drinking and driving, it affects the community. Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to me how people can be so incredibly selfish and not think about the things that they do. It has a wider impact. It's not just about you, as much as you'd like to think so. Gosh. All right, folks, if you're part of the Filipino community, you will know by now that you can send a box home to the Philippines for only $65. I think you can pack it full of any things that are allowed, clothes, Christmas goods, whatever. I believe up to 200 pounds can go in the box, and it's only $65. So folks, check it out. It's a good deal. This shipment is going to be leaving the end of December. So you've got a little bit of time to get your boxes together.
Ang Balikbayan Boxes ay bumalik na sa Miracle Brokers. Ipadala sa iyong mga mahal sa buhay ang espesyal na pakete para sa Pasko o Bagong Taon na puno ng mga damit, laruan at marami pa. Sa halagang $65, ito ay isang deal na hindi mo matatalo. Ito ang huling shipment para sa 2021 at ang deadline ay katapusan ng Disyembre, kaya huwag mag-antala. Makipag-ugnayan sa pamamagitan ng WhatsApp 345-916-0355 upang bilhin ang iyong kahon at magreserba ng espasyo sa barko. Sa pagtatapos ng 2021, gustong pasalamatan ng Miracle Brokers ang lahat sa Filipino community para sa iyong suporta sa mga nakaraang taon. Lubos naming pinapaalagahan ang iyong negosyo. Inaasahan namin ang patuloy na paglilingkod sa iyong komunidad sa 2022 at higit pa.
All right, folks. So get all of your goods together. If you're a member of that community that want to be able to send off some boxes, we invite you to do so. So on Saturday, was it Saturday? Yes, I was. I went to A.L. Thompson's, and as you guys know, I frequent A.L. Thompson's, and I was there picking up a few things. Some Christmas, not really Christmas decorations, because I wait until after Christmas when the decorations go on sale. You can get some good stuff up to 75% off sometimes. That's really the time to shop for Christmas decorations. But I decided to pop in, and I said to myself, ooh, Rotary is having their $40,000 giveaway. So I'm like, Rotary, listen, they do a lot of wonderful things in the community. So I almost see it as a donation, but I would not have mind winning $40,000. Believe me, you. Cash is their top prize. They do it every single year. And so I wanted to support the cause. I bought a couple tickets there at A.L. Thompson's. And guess what? I didn't win. But we know who did. So this young man, his name is Horus Fairweather. Congratulations to Mr. Horus. We understand here at CMR that he is the winner of the $40,000 grand prize. Yay, Mr. Horus. At for the Rotary Extravaganza that they have every single year. So congratulations to Mr. Horace. We're sure that you'll be putting this money to good use. Good job. And I'm so happy that you actually won. It's always nice to see people who are deserving win, right? He's not some big shot lawyer who probably $40,000 isn't that big of a deal anyway. Yeah. So that's a bit of good news that happened over the weekend. And I know they always do smaller prizes. So congratulations to all of the winners. Everybody wants the grand prize, but not everybody can win the grand prize. You got one grand prize winner. So congratulations to Mr. Horace. We were tickled pink to understand yesterday that he was a winner of $40,000. So 'tis the season, folks. They do this every single year. And we know that we had Miss Bodden on the show last week after she won $100,000, which was so exciting, in the DMS vaccine drive. And I really loved what Dawn said. Dawn said, listen, she has $100,000 more than she did the day before. And her life isn't going to change. Yeah, her life isn't going to change. She's going to take her time. She's not going to make any, immediate decisions. The money isn't going anywhere. And she's going to put it to good use. That's all she would say. I like that. All right. So Mr. Horace, good morning and congratulations. So Louis says driving laws and instructions are aimed to prevent accidents. Sometimes these laws are overlooked because of repetition and complacency, and this is the result: accidents. Great responsibility to drivers on the roadway. Yes, I mean, I suppose we've all been guilty of probably picking up the phone and making a phone call of, when we shouldn't be. And I think that when something happens, that's when you are reminded of the necessity to be careful, right? Now, I haven't been in an accident in quite some time, but I was in one earlier this year, a few months back. That accident wasn't my fault. But still, you think to yourself, is there something more that I could have done in order to, avoid it? You always second guess and question yourself, right? But this person again was coming out the wrong way. So visually, I just wasn't expecting to see the person there. So big shout out to the other winners. We have a second prize winner was Trisha Whitaker. She won it doesn't say what she won. Are they going to tell us what they won? But we also have Justin Deslandes, third prize winner. Kieran Honey also was a third prize winner. Jonathan Ebanks won as well. Peter Foster won something for third prize. Leroy Brown also won. And Gary Allen was also a winner. So this is the 26th Music Extravaganza 2021 winners. So again, congratulations to all of the winners. And thank you also to the Rotary Central of the Cayman Islands. So 26th year, wow. And then they also do a performance, that is part of it. And I know, obviously, because of COVID restrictions, probably maybe not as big as it used to be. But people enjoy the actual performances and stuff as well. All right, so that's good news. Okay, folks. I was just posting that up on our social media page. All right, so what else popped off over the weekend as part of our Monday Rewind show? Well, we've just gotten some footage this morning, and I got to warn you that I've not had an opportunity to review this footage as yet. So I would say, out of an abundance of caution, maybe if you're easily offended, you probably not watch it right now. But this looks like some people scrapping and getting down. This is why police got to be out there, because y'all be acting the fools in these streets. This incident was at the station bar, I understand, last night. Like animals in the wild.
You got good length into it.
Yeah, get up finally. Now you're fair. Pussy clad. They're gonna fight it out. English?
She's not licking you, Kelly. Glenn, please, let's get her the fuck away. Come. Kelly, get the fuck up now. I'm tired. You fucker.
Go make up now.
You can't get up, baby. You can't sit on it. You guys want to have me. I'm tired.
Hey, brother, what's it?
Wow. Seems like the only person that was concerned was the one young lady in the white top and the jean shorts to try to break this fight apart. And poor her, she's so skinny. She looked like both of them could have blew her over one good breath of she would have fallen over, child. But she was the only one who was trying to, part the situation. I found this astonishing and that's, like I said, that was my first time seeing it along with you all. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but look at the men standing around in the background, just like drinking and finishing out their cigarettes. They not business with these two fools fighting and rolling on the nasty ground where people do all sorts of stuff on. Oh my God, how disgusting. Pulling each other's hair like animals. This is the kind of thing I expect wild animals to do, to be honest. I don't know if that was weave or their real hair, but that must have been hurting at some point to have somebody pulling on your hair that long and not letting go. It's a disgrace. And it looks like they're Caymanian too. Super disgraceful. Y'all need to get yourself together. Somebody said, well, obviously police presence was needed there. And where was Mario? Why was he not out there helping squash the situation? I don't know. All I know is that's very, very disgraceful. And that is what is trending this morning and making the rounds. So Miss Sue says this is terrible. The people have gone mad. Louis wants to know, what are they fighting for? Who knows? Something incredibly stupid. That I am sure of. Miss Darlene says, what a disgrace. Carol says, pure class, not. Tracy says, OMG, why are they filming this and not breaking this up? There are standards and camera peeps should be held accountable for not breaking it up and allowing this to continue for as long as it has. WTH is wrong with people. And I'm sure they're fighting over a man, probably a man that probably has a third or fourth woman out there, Joe. And he's not even worried. Maybe he's one of those men standing up there drinking, not even willing to intervene or help them. Listen, at the end of the day, people are going to film it if you're in public, no matter what. I'm sure there are tons of people watching this. And I can understand why some people would not necessarily want to get involved, because remember how we were talking about the stabbing incidents at the Strand? When you go back and read the case notes of what actually happened, it looks like the young man who lost his life was actually trying to part a fight earlier with his brother and the guy who eventually stabbed and killed him. So sometimes you will get involved in trying to break up a situation and it will end up costing you your life when you had nothing to do with it. You're just trying to be the good Samaritan who is willing to break up fools. And next thing you know, the fool comes back and they want to take it out on you. So, these are two women. Thankfully, there were no weapons or anything like that involved. Child, what a disgrace, showing their bonk and everything. So Alice says, oh my gosh, as a lady, this disgusts me. Plus other girls there should help her. People talk about the world gone mad. It's the people. Al Ray says, kudos to the one little referee and fight diffuser. Yeah, she was trying, poor little thing. Like I said, she's like so tiny. And it's a good thing that both of them, I think they seem to both know her. And so no one appeared to react like negative. Because again, you inject yourself in the situation and sometimes you become the target, right? So yes, very disgusting. Alice says the one recording it is just as bad. Carol says probably a man who has more than likely gone off with somebody else. Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying. He's got a third or fourth girlfriend. Jess says no wonder COVID is spreading. Rose said that was the world's longest fight. Fight till you're tired. And then sometimes I wonder, right? Do they not see themselves like Bonky hanging out, this hanging out? It's like, do you not go back and watch this and go, oh my God, what am I doing? And listen, I'm telling you, normally alcohol is a big player here. And then they end up regretting it. And once it's gone viral, then they won't be messaging me, oh, Miss Sandy, can you take that down? Can you not go out in public and fight and embarrass yourself? Can you not do that? That would be nice. Miss Darlene said things have changed. In the 80s and 90s, we would always tear them apart. Not a good look. Tear who apart? Each other? Listen, in terms of generational situations, right? I think that this sort of thing has been happening for a very, very long time. Now, I know people like to be like, oh, you know, these young people, this and that. What I know for a fact is the older people, up to a lot of shenanigans back in the day too. They were fighting over man. They were sleeping with this one husband and that one husband and carrying on with the most ridiculous behavior. So they themselves have not necessarily set the best record, let me put it that way, of people to follow. But I find that a lot of older people, once they become of a certain age, they seem to forget what they were up to. And then they look down on young people and they be like, yeah, damn young people, they're not no good, you know. And then some of the other older heads will say to me, oh, that's interesting because I remember when that young person was doing XYZ and blah, blah, blah back in the 50s and 60s. And they think we forget a while. We're not forgetting. This came out after all. So, yes, honey child, I would say this has been going on a minute. Miss Morning says, wow, it happens all around the world. Sad, but I don't go to bars. And this is what happens when you're drinking. What a hot mess. Miss Maria says they should have poured some cold water on them to cool down. Just like how you do animals. I understand that that's a good thing to do for animals as well. When they start fighting, get the water hose out. So I guess if you're going to act like an animal, then treat you like an animal. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Let's do a big birthday shout out to Lavana from Lavana's Kitchen and Cayman Airways reservationist extraordinaire. We want to wish her a happy birthday today. We need a little birthday music here. Happy birthday to this beauty. She's normally tuned into the show, but since it's her birthday, she won't actually be busy. But straight out of Cayman, it's a Georgetowner for you. Happy birthday to her. I know she's had some trying times recently, and I want to give her a big shout out through her restaurant. You know, she serves a lot of people in the community, absolutely wonderful local food. And she also, during the pandemic, was helping to support different frontline agency and staff, including customs. And there she is with some of the customs employees, making sure that they get some lunch when they're working some incredibly hard hours. So big shout out. If you know Lavana, go on her Facebook page, wish her happy birthday, send her a WhatsApp message saying, hey girl, I saw you in CMR per the birthday club. Happy birthday to you. We hope that you enjoy your birthday and have a fantabulous day. So Miss Catherine has sent us some photos of her parents. This is very, very nice. So David and Jules Smalden, 89 years old, and mom is 92. Wow. And still going strong. They were married. His birthday's on the 14th of the month, and he was 89. And hers is today on the 29th. And how long have they been married? Remind me, I think they've been married for like 60 something or 70 years or some long time as well. So congratulations to them. And here is their photo. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So happy birthday. Wonderful. So Louis says here that something else to focus on than the fight for dogs, but human might start another fight. It's just crazy. The things that you see that make you go, what on earth is going on? The world has gone mad, I tell you. Folks, the census is wrapping up, by the way. I saw someone post that it's coming to an end. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to participate in the census. If you haven't, for some reason, if they've come knocking at your door, I think they leave a calling card. And some people have even done it over the phone because of COVID and isolation restrictions. Make sure that you reach out to the census folks and you get all of the information, all the good reasons as to why you should participate in the census.
Census 2021. Census. Come on, get ready. Census. Starting 10th of October 2021. Census. West Bay, you ready? Census. East End, we coming. Census. Everyone will be counted. Census 2021. Census. But in town, are you ready? Census. Georgetown, we coming. Census. Your info will be secret. Northside, get ready. Census. Rockers will be counted. Census. Little Cayman, we coming. Census. People, get ready. Census 2021. Census. Todos se cuentan. Census. Latinos serán contados. Filipinos bajanda. 2021. Census. Papa, are you ready? Census. Mama will be counted. Census. Children and toddlers. Census. 2021. Census. Information is secret. Census. 2021. Census. Starting October 10th. 2021. Census. 2021 census, census, census. 2021 census. Everyone counts.
All right, folks. So they had a slight delay because of some COVID situations, but then the census got off to a good start and they've been going around in earnest. Good morning to the beautiful Miss Lily. El Rey says he loves that song. Me too. It has a really good jingle to it. So yes, folks, here's why the census matters. I like this little information graphic here. It says, why respond to the census? Census data affects everything from nonprofit organizations, economic development and jobs, roads and infrastructure, schools and childcare, local public safety, healthcare, and social services. So the government has to make a decision, folks. And as you know, the Legislative Assembly is actually in session right now. They started on Friday. And, they have been doing a really, really good job as it relates to revamping. They've been doing a good job in terms of, talking about some of the things that they are looking forward to. And, at the end of the day, there are some initiatives that are coming forward, including removing duty on things like feminine products for women. I think that's a great initiative. And that was a campaign promise. I can't remember who made it now, but it was definitely a campaign promise of one of these, the current PAC government members. And so they're moving forward with a lot of those things. And the premier was talking about, some of the other things that they're going to be doing, including looking at making education free at the university college for all Caymanians who wish to attend. Now, I think that's in some ways, I think it's a great idea. And then in other ways, I know that normally when people get something for free, they just do not appreciate it. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Because believe me, there's not very many places in the world where you get a free education. And I do feel like a lot of our people, now y'all are getting free lunches. And what do? You complain about the free lunches. Well, they're not giving my kids enough. Well, your kids are probably overweight and could lose a few pounds anyway. I don't like the variety. And it's just like, and then you get people in this mentality of thinking they can always get stuff in life for free. And trust me, in the real world, it's not happening. Sue says, so many people complaining about the census on Facebook. It's not right. Just do the census. But people love to complain about everything. Somebody was saying to me the other day, about how, oh, you know, people complaining about this government. And I said, show me a government that the people have not complained about. When they're in, they're always complaining. That's what people do. That's what people love to do. Jeez and peace. I mean, like, seriously. So they're going to be going into the 10th of next month, as far as I know, for about 2 months. Here's the governor with one of the census enumerators. I think he must have been the one for West Bay. So he went by the governor's residence. And there he is. So the governor probably participated in the census too. So folks, just participate in the census. It doesn't take anything off your back, just a few minutes of your time. So you see, here's what I'm talking about, these negative Nancy's, right? All some people want to do is make a negative comment. So here is Scott Henderson, of all people, tagging Andre Espude about, oh, look, they're not wearing masks and they're in public. Jeez, peace. You do know that there's no mandatory mask wearing it's obviously recommended, but when someone comes into your home, if you feel safe enough with them taking off their mask, and maybe the governor invited him to some tea and a sit down, which he'd have to take off his mask to be able to do anyway. But again, instead of seeing the positive of this, that you have an enumerator who has visited the government residence, we're always looking for the negative. Humans. That's just everything we do is a one big wah, wah, wah complaint. What a hot mess. Moving right along. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Big shout out to Home Gas. Now you guys know I am a propane user. I try to decrease my footprint on the environment as much as I can. And I also like to save money. Because, child, you know, you get nervous when you see your email says your CUC bill has arrived. You're extremely nervous. Even if you have invested in solar energy, you're still nervous. You're like, oh my God, what's it going to be now? The cooler months now are much welcomed. But one of the ways in which I personally have invested in trying to save a little bit in the future, especially, is by investing in propane. So I got a big propane tank outside. I cook with gas. I dry my clothes with gas. I use a tankless propane water heater. So it's on demand. I only get hot water when it's required. And it's all connected to propane. So big shout out to Home Gas, because guess what, folks? If you order from Home Gas, you get it delivered same day. As long as you put in your order before midday, they will deliver anywhere in the island the exact same day. That's pretty good.
We have you covered for 64 years as the island's trusted energy provider for all 3 islands. Home Gas is your #1 supplier of propane and propane products in the Cayman Islands, offering same-day delivery on Grand Cayman. Place your order before midday, and the Home Gas delivery team will get your tank topped up in any district island-wide. Same-day delivery, one of the reasons people prefer Home Gas to anyone else. We've got you covered. Call us today on 949-7474.
Yes, folks, same day delivery. So big shout out to Home Gas. Yes, ma'am. I'm speaking too loudly. She can't hear her iPad because I'm speaking too loudly. All right, Mama. Thank you for the reminder. We will use her inside voice. Silent Fox. Okay, so thank you, Tracy. So people who find pleasure in someone else's suffering or who are negative take happiness in making others just as unhappy as they are. That's why they say misery loves company. Complaining gets you nothing but being seen as a negative person and makes them look bad. So if you have nothing nice to say, just say nothing at all, full stop. Sometimes that's true. I think sometimes you gotta point out some constructive things, but yes, I think by and large, probably all of us could be a little bit more positive in life. Absolutely. You remember the guy I was telling you guys about his platform? He has over 9 million subscribers. It's called Mr. Who's the Boss. And Marlon was watching a video by him last night. And he says that he's worried about humanity's future. I'm going to share the link. Go watch it later on. Very, very interesting. I think I'll subscribe to him because I liked that one video. He had a lot of positive things to say, Tracy. So super, super interesting. I wonder if Dino's still going to be joining us for Cyber Monday. We are waiting on him to jump on the show. So let me just check what else we had on today's agenda for Rewind Monday. All right. So so Omicron, I guess is what we're calling it. Let's talk about that for a minute. And did you guys see the story about the Guatemalan man who runs for freedom? Well, somebody made a joke about that. They're like, Sandy, he technically didn't run. He flew to freedom. And I was like, touche, touche. Absolutely. He flew to freedom by getting into the landing gear on a plane. And believe me, he is very, very fortunate because most people do not survive doing that. The landing gear, that's not the safest place to be on a plane. So he was a stowaway and he's found in the landing gear of a plane. As soon as it landed in Miami, they picked up that he was there, and there's video footage in case you missed the article. It was up on CMR's website. And yeah, this dude survived. I mean, I think it's amazing, first of all, that he survived, because 78% of the people who tried this since the 1940s have not been so lucky. So the vast majority of people, folks, do not survive doing this. It's extremely dangerous. So yeah. So he hid in the plane's landing gear for a nearly 3-hour flight. Hold on one second. Let's pull up this video that was shared by I think this is USA Today. But this is absolutely amazing. Amazing that he survived, really. To be quite frank and honest. So give me 1 second here.
Now to a remarkable story of survival. Police say a man in Guatemala hid in the landing gear of an American Airlines jet headed to Miami. The 26-year-old was found shortly after the 2.5-hour flight landed, taken in by U.S. Customs and Borders Protection officers. He was taken to the hospital for evaluation, but appeared to be in good condition.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube.
Isn't that crazy? Apparently, the chances of him surviving, like I said, are astronomical. Like it's amazing that he survived. And so, of course, as the plane landed, they found him. Here's another one. Let's have a look at this one and see. Like, I'm curious as to what it takes to survive a 2.5-hour journey in the landing gear of a plane. You know how fast planes go? Like, how fast are they going? It's fast. It's just, wow. Here's another one of interest.
Videos posted to Only Engage show the 26-year-old man sitting on the ground as airport workers try to give him water. The man surviving the trip, a flight of about 2.5 hours. He was taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital. Attorney Angel Leal says the man may be facing an expedited order of removal.
And then at that point, if he's in fact a person who's trying to flee persecution and wants to request asylum, he'll be afforded the opportunity for a credible fear interview before an asylum officer, but more than likely he'll be detained during that process.
NBC6 investigator and pilot Willard Shepard says based on the flight data, the temperature in the gear well dropped by about 100 degrees while the plane was in flight.
So this person was in there a time period, probably about 2 hours, where they were subjected to sub-zero temperatures.
Former American Airlines pilot Wayne Zeskol says he once flew a plane with a stowaway on board.
We had an airplane, an Airbus out of Santo Domingo, went to San Juan, and then San Juan to Orlando in the middle of the summer. And I had somebody that hid in the wheel well. and survive the trip.
The FAA says from 1947 through February of this year, 129 people worldwide have tried to stow away in the wheel wells or other parts of the plane, and of the 129, 100 died from their injuries. Beyond freezing temperatures, Ziskel explains what makes stowing away so dangerous.
People lose consciousness because of lack of oxygen or hypothermia or any of those things, and when the gear comes back down, they fall out. They're not wedged in properly, or they don't hold on to something properly, and they fall out of the airplane to their death. Usually this is a very tragic thing.
The incident also raising security questions.
No person without access to an airline ramp should be able to walk out on the ramp and get close to any of these airplanes, much less being able to get up into the landing gear area of one of them.
President.
Oh, sorry. Just realized I was muted. I was just reading some of the comments. So Louis says, landing gear area of the plane is not pressurized, so lack of oxygen will cause death. Sue says he was so lucky he didn't freeze to death. Louis adds that plus low temperatures at high altitude, he's lucky. Tracy says, wow, willing to die for freedom. Amazing. Yes, he should have died from altitude. He could have died, my apologies, from altitude, speed, falling, sound, climate, cold. I can't believe he survived. Amazing. God was watching over him. Whoa, pretty crazy. But now he'll be deported back home. And of course, the situation in Guatemala isn't the best at the moment because of, COVID and the economy and other such things. So it's really quite unfortunate, but this isn't the way to do it. Sorry. He took a chance and he survived, and now he's going to be sent right back. And like that last video said, this does raise security concerns because, hey, if he could do it, get that close to a plane, what else could be happening? Somebody could get that close to a plane and put a bomb in the landing gear of an American flight, American airline flight and stuff as well. So, these are the things that happen. Maria says that she hopes that he's allowed to stay. Normally you're not if you do it the wrong way, unfortunately. And you don't want to encourage. The problem with that, I get it, Maria. I mean, trust me, I get it. I've been an immigrant in somebody else's country. And I think sometimes for some people, the desperation is there where they'll do almost anything. But the God's honest truth is, if you do it the wrong way and you reward people for doing it the wrong way by giving them the ability to stay in America, then they're going to keep doing it. That's one of the reasons why even with the U.S. policy with Cuba, they've had to adjust it over the years because this wet, dry land, what is it? Wet foot, dry, whatever their policy is called, dry foot, wet land, whatever. It makes people take the chance of getting in a boat that is not seaworthy, that isn't safe. And they'll just jump on and be like, hey, hopefully we'll get there. Speaking of Cuban nationals, we had 5 that washed up on our shores on Friday in one of their boats off of Cayman Brac. Or was it Little Cayman? I think it was Cayman Brac. And so, of course, that's an issue because they'll now be put in quarantine first and foremost. And with the virus all over the place, it's really, really important that doesn't go unchecked. So they have to put them in quarantine first of all, and then after that they will be processed, I suppose, by immigration, which is CBC, Customs and Border Control, and then they'll take it from there. Some I'm sure will apply for political asylum. And again, we can't be in the business of helping them to get to the next destination because most of them do want to go on to the US, to be quite fair. And we cannot be in the business of helping them onward because, again, that goes against international obligations. So, so Maria says, I thought the law was if you get on dry land, you're processed. That's for Cubans only, believe it or not. Cubans have a very different policy that applies to them. So it's called, what is it? Dry foot, wet foot policy, I think is what it's called. So, and I think it's since ended under Trump, as far as I believe, but the wet foot, dry foot policy was a name given to a former interpretation of the 1995 revision of the application of the Cuban Adjustment Act of 1966 that essentially says that anyone who immigrated from Cuba and entered the United States would be allowed to pursue residency a year later. So prior to 1995, the U.S. government allowed all Cubans who reached U.S. territorial waters to remain in the U.S. After talks with the Cuban government, the Clinton administration came to an agreement with Cuba that it would stop admitting people intercepted in U.S. waters. So for 2 decades thereafter, any Cuban caught on the waters between the two nations, so that was the wet feet part of it, would summarily be returned to Cuba or sent to a third country, while ones who made it to shore, that's the dry foot people, got a chance to remain in the United States and later would qualify for expedited legal permanent resident status in accordance with the 1966 Act and eventually U.S. citizenship. Of course, on January the 12th of 2017, Barack Obama announced the immediate end of the policy. So what is the policy now? I don't even know. But yeah, so they used to intercept them in U.S. waters. And of course, being in U.S. waters and getting closer to sea, getting actually your foot on land can be two very, very different things. So we have a legal obligation to send them back when they're intercepted in Cayman waters. And we don't have a wet foot, dry foot policy that applies to Cuban nationals or anybody else for that matter. So there you have it. So it says that the end of the wet foot, dry foot policy, this is in 2017, means that Cubans can now join the ranks of undocumented workers as well. So there's this popular Spanish saying that says, o todos en la cama, o todos en el suelo. And it roughly means that either we all get the bed or we all get the floor. So it talks about, equal treatment. So in this article, it says that now the U.S. has put everybody on equal footing under Obama, where all immigrants going to the U.S., whether they're Mexicans, Haitians, Central Americans, are going to be relegated to the floor. The government has given Cubans the bed all to themselves, while others were getting the floor. And with the end of the wet foot, dry foot policy, which again, since 1995 has given Cubans preferential treatment, that would no longer be the case. So they'll be treated like any other immigrant. They'll be turned away. Interesting. For the first time, they're going to have undocumented Cubans. What a thing. So, policies around the world, immigration policies, everything from people having political issues and economic issues surrounding us impacts what happens in our jurisdiction as well. East End. Thank you, Damien. I was thinking, what happened? I was thinking of the other boat situation in Little Cayman. Yeah, they came into East End. So, as economic times get harder, and I know y'all think they're getting harder in Cayman too, and they may be, but they're nowhere near what they are in some other countries. You'll find that Cayman remains the country of milk and honey for many. And we will have more and more people who will do desperate acts like this poor Guatemalan guy and get in a plane and do all sorts of stuff to be able to have an opportunity in your country. So Masu says the UK are taking so many desperate people on boats. half don't make it if they drown. It's so sad, gets worse every day. There was an incident recently. Was it a boat or plane or train or something in the UK where a bunch of stowaways had actually died? And there was I remember briefly hearing it on the news last week. I didn't get to really read it in much detail, but I know that it definitely happened. Okay. So I wonder how come most people Virgin from Texas and California are allowed to stay. The Mexicans, well, they're not really allowed to stay if they get caught. I mean, they stay and they make a life for themselves over the years. But if they're found out to be undocumented, which they are, then you got a problem. In the English Channel, it was Haitians. Oh wow, that's not good. Yeah, so they're not. I don't think any country tries to encourage undocumented workers because, like I said, it leads to a lot of issues. But when you talk about the importance of a census, for example, and knowing how many people, what your population size is, and all these other things, it really becomes imperative that you can support your own nationals and the people who do enter legally and who do it the right way. So no one in their right minds try to encourage illegal and undocumented immigrants to enter their country.
Healthier spaces, healthier people. Electrostatic disinfection is a touchless cleaning technology. It provides a charge to a solution that electromagnetically sticks to a surface, providing 360-degree coverage. Rest assured, it is safe for electronics, food, and paper products. Reliable Industries, the clean you expect, the service you deserve.
All right, folks, check out Reliable Industries for all of your cleaning solutions. We're coming into the holidays now, so of course everyone is in cleaning mode. By the way, can I tell you, yesterday was a big clearing out day for me. I spent a considerable amount of time going through drawers and closets, and it's amazing what you can stow away. Speaking of stowaways, it's amazing what you can stow away in a drawer, in the closet, or in the bathroom cupboards, and you even forget what's there. So I started cleaning stuff out this weekend, partly because, for 2 weeks now, the helper hasn't been here. So I was like, Christmas time is coming. Let me start digging through some stuff. And honey child, half of the medicines are expired. 2016, I found stuff from like 2015 dates. You need to throw that stuff away. The sunblock expires. Now, I don't know if that means that it's just not effective, or if you use it, like, can the ingredients give you like a bad reaction or whatever? So time to throw it out. All sorts of stuff getting thrown out this weekend. You buy all these things. This is the danger of buying things in bulk, because sometimes you go to Miami, you go to BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club, and you stock up. But how much of it can you really use? It takes a while to go through a whole thing of lotion or whatever. So yeah, I did a bit of clearing out. I'm still not finished. And then I found a lot of duplications, because you stuff stuff in one bathroom drawer, and then the next bathroom, you got another case of it, and you even forget how much you have. So I'm still working on that. I hope to hopefully finish today. Like, you get to a certain point in your clearing out that you're like so mentally done. You just want to like take everything, because listen, ask me a month ago what was in the drawers and I had no clue. So if it's not getting used, your brain now is like, oh no, save it, because you might use it again. It's like, you got to challenge that with a degree of like, just hold on a second here. Logic. Let's think about this logically. If you haven't used it in 6 months to a year, what are the chances that you're going to use it in the next 6 months to a year? That has to be the litmus test for whether it gets put in the bin. If it's something that can be donated to someone else who might actually use it, then that's fine. But yeah, I'm just like, plop, put it in the bin. So Maria says if they get caught before they cross the border, they're sent back. Yes. Damien, Jess says more for NAU to take care of. Well, unfortunately, we've seen the current situation as it relates to NAU, and you know, they do have to take care of certain people. Yeah. So I keep getting all these weird. Do you guys get all the spam from people claiming that you owe them an invoice and you don't even know who these people are? The problem with this, of course, is that they're just trying to get you to open up that document. No clue who these people are. So we put that in the recycle bin. All right, good folks, it is 9:30. That is our Monday Rewind show. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the program today. I trust that you guys have a fantastic start of your week. Remember, every single Monday, you can join us here for Monday Rewind. And it would be amiss of me to not mention the sad news that another member of our community has passed away, Mr. Lloyd Charlton. And, it's so funny because in the past year, I got to know him because he came on board as one of my customers. He lives right in the Newlands area. And I could not believe the news last night when I heard that he had passed away. Now, I know that he had been sick for a little while. And he was actually, when I first went and visited his home to get him all set up, he was actually in a hospital bed, like kind of bedridden. And he was explaining to me that he'd had some injuries. I can't remember if he said that he had a stroke, but he definitely had something that happened that basically relegated him to being in bed. But the last time I went to see him, because he got a new TV, and then Flo had come out and he had some issues with trying to get everything reconnected. So he'd asked for me to come out and, have a look at everything for him. And of course, I did that, and I got him all sorted out. And I noticed he was actually out of the bed. He was a bit more mobile. He was actually having dinner when I stopped by to see him. And he looked good, and somebody messaged me last night and said that they saw him up until Saturday, and they spoke with him on Saturday. And, it looks like, unfortunately, he probably just had a heart attack, and that was it. He was involved in the community. He was a Lions member and gave a lot back to the community. I think he was married for many, many years based on some of the social media comments. And it's just so sad. Over the years, I have personally had a number of my, I think now at least 5 customers that have passed away. And it just is sad. I mean, Cayman is small. So even though, they might not be close friends or whatever, you still feel like people within the community. So I wanted to extend our condolences to his family and friends, and even his caregiver. He had a Filipino lady there who was taking care of him. He needed 24/7 assistance, and she was, there cooking and doing other things as well. So I know that that's going to be a significant loss for her, but he's going to be missed. He's really going to be missed. And I will miss him messaging and inquiring about cricket, because he was a cricket man. He loved him some cricket, folks. He would watch cricket. I feel like 24/7. He would watch his cricket, and once he had cricket news, he was good. Always so pleasant. I always felt like, oh man, when I stopped by, I wish I had more time to spend with him, because he was just such a pleasant person to speak with. So I think he came on board as a customer. Maybe it's been about a year now, I want to say, or early in the year. So very, very sad. So Mr. Lloyd, most people knew him as Mr. Roy. You will surely be missed by so many people. Such a sad day. All right, folks. You got to appreciate people while they're here. Trust me. So everyone, again, I wish you guys a beautiful day. Please be safe out and about. We're getting that much closer to Christmas. And of course, as we get closer to Christmas, the accidents are on the increase, bad drivers on the increase. People feel like to celebrate that they have to drink and drive, which is never a good thing. But we would really encourage you to please think of others as you traverse the roadways and just be considerate. That you're not the only one that's actually on the roadway today. So I don't know what happened to Dino. Maybe he's busy doing other Cyber Monday stuff. But he was going to pop in and we're going to talk about some of the specials. But in the meantime, check out Aeropost. You can go to their Facebook page. They will help you make Christmas a success and get everything here that you require and that you need. Trust me when I tell you that the rush is on. There's delays all over the world. So you may not be able to get, Santa might not be able to deliver on everything if you don't get an early start on your shopping list. So give them a dingle and they'll be more than happy to assist you in making Christmas wonderful this year.
Aeropost makes Christmas easy. In just 3 steps, you can have all your Christmas shopping done. Step 1, buy. Shop online with a retailer of your choice. Step 2, pre-alert your package and upload your invoice with our state-of-the-art customer portal. Step 3, receive your package at our GT office without the hassle of customs clearance. Christmas has never been easier than this. Contact us today at 321-4490 via WhatsApp 954-260-9620 to register and take advantage of our discounted special.
Accidents happen at any time, when you least expect it. Be prepared. Reach out to Recover Personal Injury Attorneys. We don't get paid until you recover.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.